Good morning, students. Today we will discuss structural functional analysis. This structural functional analysis, in other words, known as structural functionalism or structural functional approach. This is the analysis of function by different structures of the political system towards society. Now, the very concept of political system in the context of system analysis lays stress on the relation between political to the society. Now, system analysis, it emphasizes on the relation between political to the society. What is the relation between the political system and society? In fact, society, for its existence, for its development, has created the political system, and it is the job of the political system to sustain, maintain, and develop the develop the society. Now, political system through certain structures makes legitimate policy decision for the society. These policy decisions are actually the function of the political system. All these policy decisions are required by the society, and these policies decisions are made by the political system through certain structure. Hence, in political system, the structure is not that important like function. It is the function because of which the structure exists. If the political system stops functioning, then its structure will automatically disappear. In fact, no society can survive or develop unless it has a political system performing such a function. Now, in this sense, political system is a functional requisite of the society. That means society, in order to exist, society has to function, and society, in order to function, requires the political system. This is what meant by functional requisite of the society. For society, in order to function, requires political system. And there is no society which can survive without political system, because the existence of the society requires the function of the society, and the function of the society requires the political system. You cannot give me an example of society which is running without a political system. So, there is a structure in political system to function for the survival and development of the society. Now, structural functional analysis is an approach to understand the process through which the political system functions for society by its structure. So, a student of structural functionalism will always try to understand the function of a political system, and the structure that performs the political, uh, that structure which performs that function, right? And whether these functions are related with the existence, the maintenance, and development of the society or not. So, three things are very, very important: whether the system is political system is functioning or not, what are the structure that performs that function, and third, whether the function of a political system is towards the existence, the maintenance, and the development of society or not. There are three assumptions of structural functional analysis. The first assumption is that it takes society as a single interconnected system. Each system performs a specific function, and the basic feature of such a system is the interaction of its components for the maintenance of its equilibrium. In other words, I will start that a society is a structure of structures. A society is a system of systems. One will find many systems in the society, and all these systems performs a specific function, and the function of different systems, in this context I will say subsystems, the function of all these subsystems must not go against the goal of the society. Certainly there will be some differences, but the differences will at the superstructure level, right? All these subsystems interact with one another, and the purpose of that interaction is how to bring the equilibrium among all these subsystems. The more success the subsystem brings the equilibrium, it will contribute to the solidarity of the society, and society as a single unit may function or develop or sustain. So in fact, political system always try to bring or help the society to help the subsystem of the society to bring that equilibrium. So that is the first assumption, that society is a single entity, but it is constituted by different sub-entities within it, and the sub-entities interact with one another, and the purpose of interaction is to bring the equilibrium among them. And the second assumption is that a social system has a dominant tendency towards stability, that is maintained by the virtue of built-in mechanism. If there are deviations or tensions, they are resolved. Thus, change in social system is not sudden or revolutionary, rather gradual and adjusting. It means in every social system there is a built-in mechanism, and the built-in mechanism always leads the social system towards the stability. Why we should talk about social system? It is also true in different kind of system. Even it is also applicable to human body, right? Now, like many other system, social system is having a tendency towards going towards stability. Every system requires stability. Your body requires stability, the environment requires stability, the political system requires stability, and there is a built-in mechanism either in your body, in your environment, in society, in the political system. That built-in mechanism naturally leads towards that stability. No doubt, there will be some tension in this system. There will be disease in your body. There will be environmental degradation due to the human intervention. There will be tension in society. There will be tension in political system. But all these tensions or conflicts cannot be solved and should not be solved with the use of revolutionary method, right? If you apply a allopathy to cure your disease, then that allopathy becomes counterproductive for you in future. Hence, your body as a system also requires the gradual changes, not the revolutionary changes, so that in future you will not face any uh, counter effect. So what it means? It means in society, no doubt tensions, conflicts will be there, but to end or to deal with that tension or conflict, application of revolutionary method may become counterproductive in the future, and the best way is the evolutionary method, so that the built-in mechanism in the system will ultimately solve these deviations or conflict or tension, and it will automatically leads towards stability. And the third assumption of structural functionalism is the underlying the whole social structure. There are broad aims and principles that are observed by the members of the society. I said that people in a society, they may differ, they may disagree at the superstructural level, but at the base level, people, the aims and principles of the society is observed by the members of the society. So people may differ on the question of means how to achieve that end, but people don't differ on the question of aim. What is the goal of the society? So these three are the basic assumptions of structural functional analysis. Now, the structural functionalists, they accept that the society is a organic entity. Like every organism, the like every organism, the way they possess the organic properties, that is capacity to reproduce, capacity to perceive, learn, capacity to adapt, adjust. Social and political units have also certain adaptive quality. That means every organism is characterized by certain function. And what are those functions of every organism? That in every organism one can find the capacity to reproduce, capacity to perceive and learn, capacity to adapt and adjust, right? And the same functions is also performed by the social and political unit. The society is also a organic entity. The political system is also a organic entity. It is because both society and political system have adaptive quality. Society reproduce itself. Society I mean, whether it is society, social system, or political system, it they reproduce themselves, they perceive, they learn, they adapt, they adjust, they change. They have an inbuilt tendency towards integrating the collective symbol. Now, it is because of this function, every political system and every social system is like a organism. Hence, if scientific study on organism is possible, so also the scientific study on society and political system, the social system and political system is possible. The functionalist approach, while studying on a given social and political system, does not concentrate how the pattern of behavior may have originated. Rather, they concentrate on how it played its role in maintaining the system as a whole. So, the scientific understanding of a political system does not concentrate on the question that how the pattern of behavior of the individual have originated. Rather, they concentrate on how the political system plays its role in maintaining the society, the social system as a whole. So let me take 1 minute break, then I'm coming back. Welcome back. There are three characteristic features of structural functionalism. The first characteristic feature is an emphasis on the whole system as a unit of analysis. Right? We know that the political system is functioning for the social system. Either we are understanding the political system or we are understanding the social system. In fact, in research, we understand both the political system and social system. A student of structural functional analysis must understand the political system and social system as a whole. So, the whole system as a unit of analysis is being emphasized in structural functional analysis. A student of structural functional analysis must understand the whole unit, the whole of the political system, the whole of the social system. So that is the first characteristic. And second, postulation of a particular function as requisite to the maintenance of the whole system. Right? So, I mean, when the political system is functioning for the society, it is different aspects of the political system that functions for the maintenance of the whole society. And every particular function by different units of a political system must be given importance because because that particular function by that particular structure of a political society is towards the maintenance of the whole system. It means a student of structural functional analysis must not underestimate any small function by a small structure of a political system. And the third characteristic features of structural functional analysis is demonstrate the functional interdependence of diverse structure within the whole system. It means there will be diverse structure and all this diverse structure must function towards the maintenance, the integration of the society. But these diverse structure and their functions must be characterized by interdependency. That means there will be different structure in a political system and all these different structure they function in such a way that it will create an interdependence. For example, the legislature, executive and judiciary. These are the three different structure of a political system of a government, and all these structure and their functions is not absolutely independent. There is check and balance, hence there is a kind of interdependence between the legislature, executive and judiciary. And structural functional analysis, uh, you know it prescribes this functional interdependence of diverse structures of the political system. So overall, we find that structural functionalism specifies a set of functions as necessary and sufficient for the persistence of a system, right? So the a set of functions, structural functionalism, it specifies a set of functions for the political system, right? And those functions are necessary for the political system to sustain, and political system necessary for the society to sustain. So a set of functions of the political system is the functional requisite for the political system, and political system itself is a functional requisite of the society. So what is important? The important is the set of functions of the political system, and that set of function of the political system has been specified by the structural functionalist, people who develop this structural functional analysis. And for them, these sets of functions are sufficient for the persistence of a system. These sets of functions are sufficient for a political system to persist. And once the political system persists, it means the society persists as well. Now, there is a person called Marion Levy Jr. He is a structural functionalist. Now, he defines structural functional analysis that, quote and unquote, it proceeds from the definition of units to the elaboration of its setting. Now, to him, the basic requisites of structural functional analysis are how to understand his definition of structural functionalism. I'm repeating, what is his definition of structural functionalism, quote and unquote. Now it proceeds from the definition of units to the elaboration of its setting. Now, to understand this definition, we must understand his notions of basic requisites of structural functional analysis. And what are those basic requisites? Now, the first requisite is that one must define the units to be discussed first. A student of structural functional analysis must define what is his unit of analysis, and the student must search that unit from the problem. The unit of analysis depends on the problem to which analysis is going to be addressed. And the unit must be something in terms of which operation does take place. So, a student of structural functional analysis must define the unit first. That unit must be related with certain problem of the society, and that unit must be something in terms of which operation does take place. That means the selection of unit is very, very important. Let me give you an example. I am giving the example of my own PhD research. I did research on religious conversion, and the case study I took the Kandhamar. Now, why I selected this topic to be researched? It is because I saw in 2007 there is a riot in Kandhamar, and any kind of riot is always societally fatal. So riot is a problem for the society. And I found there are different reasons of that riot. And one of the reasons was religious conversion. So I defined the unit of my analysis, the unit of my research will be the religious conversion. And also I took care how operations are taking place on that unit. How people convert. Is it really the conversion the reason of riot? So that's how, I define the unit of my research. And the second basic requisite is one must discover the possible variation for the type of units chosen. That means when I am working on religious conversion, then I must also, religious conversion as a reason of communal riot, I must also discover what are the other variations, what are the other reasons of communal riot. Am I overemphasizing on religious conversion as a unit by marginalizing the other units? So a student of structural functional analysis must discover the possible variation for the units chosen, right? So being the student of structural functionalism, while doing research on religious conversion, I must also discover the other, reasons of communal riot. And the third basic requisite for Marion Levy is one must try to determine what type of condition must be met if the units is to persist, and these conditions are the functional requisites. That means while analyzing this unit, while understanding the unit, the researcher, the student of structural functionalism must decide, must determine that in which condition religious conversion must be allowed and in which condition religious conversion should not be allowed. So this determining or this determination, determination, sorry, this determination, I'm sorry again. Thus, this determining of the conditions is very, very important for the persistence of the unit, for the persistence of religious conversion. Conditions in which we can allow religious conversion and condition in which we should not allow religious conversion. And this determining of conditions are the functional requisites for secularism. So here, secularism is the political system, right? And the fourth basic requisite is one must determine what pattern is to be built to produce the functional requisites, and these patterns are structural requisites. Now, once we decide in which conditions religious conversion must persist and in which condition religious conversion should not persist, then we have to determine the patterns. We have to determine what kind of structures is required in order to in order to assist the legitimate conversion and in order to prevent the illegitimate conversion. So here I said the political system is Indian secularism or secular state. Now it is important for a secular state to maintain the legitimate, to maintain religious conversion. It must assist the legitimate religious conversion and it must prevent the illegitimate conversion. So these patterns are the functional, structural requisites, because these structures are required to perform the function. And what is function here in this context? The function is how to promote the legitimate religious conversion and how to prevent the illegitimate conversion. To perform this function, certain patterns, certain structures are required, and that is called the structural requisites of Indian secular state. So here Indian secular state is the political system, and the structures that performs or the structures that supports the legitimate or that works towards that helps people who are doing legitimate conversion, and the structure that prevents the illegitimate conversion is the structural requisite of the Indian secular state. And what is the functional requisite of Indian secular state? The functional requisite is determining the condition. What are the conditions in which conversion is permitted, and what are the conditions in which conversion is not permitted? So let me take 1 minute break, then I'll come back to Talcott person and his understanding of uh, structural functional analysis. Welcome back. So, from this basic requisites of structural functional analysis by Marion Levy Jr., we find that for a structural functional analysis, the definition of unit is the first necessity, and subsequently the researcher moves towards elaboration of the setting. Subsequently, the researcher moves towards the possible variations relating to the unit of analysis, and towards determining the conditions in which the unit of analysis persists, and towards determining the patterns to build for promoting or for producing the functional requisites. Right. So this is what he means by elaboration of its setting. Now, another structural functionalist whose name is Talcott Person, he is an important figure in sociology. Now, for Talcott Person, how he understands a system. For Talcott Person, a system is an action framework in as much as all human action occurs within it. The individuals are actors who plays their role in the context of shared values of the system. The paramount necessity is that a state of equilibrium must be maintained on the basis of the fulfillment of the functional needs of the society relating to four problems. So, to Talcott Person, by system he means society. For him, how he defines a society, a social system. A social system is a action framework. Again, he is giving importance to the action, to the function of the social system. And in that action framework, all human beings, all human actions occurs. Every individuals are actors who play their role in the context of the shared values of the system. So individuals through their action, through their playing, they contribute towards shared value of the system. So individuals are guided by the values of the social system. So also individuals contribute to the, individual update the shared values of the social system. And when individual plays their role, they must place their role in order to bring a state of equilibrium, right? And that equilibrium is important for the functional need of the society, right? So a society, in order to function as an organic unit, individual must bring at the state of equilibrium when they are uh, playing their role in the context of shared values of a social system. And that equilibrium, two Talcott persons, that equilibrium, two Talcott persons must be brought in connection to four problems that a society encounters. And in those four contexts or four problems, individual must try to bring the state of equilibrium, and the state, the political system, must assist individual to bring that. Now, if only the political system wants an individual do not, now to Talcott person, the uh, you know society cannot maintain. I mean, society uh, will not get stability. So, people initiative is first, government assistance is second. And what are those four problems? The first problem is problem of allocation of resources. Second problem is problem of defining and sustaining the pursuit of certain fundamental goals. Third is the problem of maintenance of solidarity. And fourth is sustaining, or the problem of sustaining the motivation of the actors. Right. And these four problems are designated by persons as adaptation, goal attainment, pattern maintenance and tension management, and integration. So let me check some problems is happening right. So Talcott person, in other words, I mean, he understands all these four problems, and he designated uh, all these four problems with, you know, alternate word, right? Uh, for him, these four problems are problems of adaptation, problem of goal attainment, problem of pattern maintenance and tension management, and problem of integration. Now, what is the first? First is the problem of adaptation. Now, adaptation means that the capacity of a system to meet the demands of the actor must be increased. That means for a society or for any system, whether it is social system or political system, the system must increase its capacity so that the system will meet the demands of its actors. So, increasing capacity is the main goal of adapt adaptation or adaptive function of a system. The that processes that are relevant to the satisfaction of adaptive functional requisites are economic by nature. That is, process of production, allocation of resources, management of resources. I mean, how a system will increase its capacity. A system can increase its capacity through economy. A system has to take care its process of production. A system has to take care the allocation of resources and the management of resources. And the second is the goal attainment. Now it means the coordinate action of collectivity which move towards the goal set by the system itself. For example, one of the most important goals of the social system at societal level is the preservation of the society. To achieve this goal, there involves a set of activities of individual that contribute to the satisfaction of the goal attainment. In society, state merely coordinate these activities. So what it means? It means individual, while playing their role, must coordinate, must cooperate one another in order to achieve the goals of the society. And the goals of the society, it has been designed by the society. Again, what does it mean? The goal has been designed by the individual actors of the society. Individual actors, they don't disagree to one another on its goal. They may disagree how to achieve those goals. They may disagree on means, but on end, the individuals, actors of the society, they don't disagree. And what is the goal of the society or social system? The goal of the social system is the preservation of the society. Hence, a set of activities of individual must be designed so that they can contribute to the achievement, to this attainment of this goal. In society, the state merely coordinates these activities of the individual. So, individual, while playing their role, must achieve the goals of the society, and the goals of the society is the preservation of the society, and the state must assist individuals while, the state must help individual to achieve the goal. And the goal is, I'm repeating, the goal is the preservation of the society. And the third is the pattern maintenance and tension management. It refers to the upholding of the basic principles of the system with regard to both values of a system and commitment of the system or goal attainment. While goal attainment is concerned with the cultural component of a system, value maintenance with its social component. For goal attainment and value maintenance, the role of family, household, school, church figure in. Three major premises are involved here. First, values are passed from one generation to another. That is called the acculturation process. Second, there is application of sanction for the violation of the prescription of the value system. Third, there is tension management process which attempts to prevent the development of a situation where large number of people or actors violate the basic norms. So, what does it exactly mean? Now, when individual actor plays their role in the context of shared value of a system, of a social system, then their role or their action must uphold the principles of society. What is the principles of society? Or their action must uphold the basic principles of the social system with regard to the value of a system and commitment of the system. Right. So individual action, individual role cannot go against the values of the society, cannot go against the commitment of the society, because the goal attainment is concerned with the cultural component of a society. I mean, for in every society there are two components to talcott person. One is the cultural component, another is the social component. The cultural component means the value of a society, and the social component is the commitment of the society, right? And in every society one can find the individual actors, they perform towards the goal attainment and value maintenance of their respective society. One can find for this goal attainment and value maintenance, family plays a role, household plays a role, school plays a role, church, religious institution plays a role. And when they are playing their role, or they play their role, or they play three different kinds of role, right? First, they pass the values from one generation to the another generation, which in technical term we know it as acculturation process. So this acculturation process is done by the family, household, school, and church. So that is the first function. And the second function is that there is application of sanction for the violation of the prescription of the value system. If there is any violation of the value system, all these institutions like family, household, school, they prescribe certain sanction and then apply these sanctions whenever there is any violation of the value system. And the third function, what all these institutions do is that they maintain a tension management process. Now, what is this tension management process? I mean, all these institutions of the society try to prevent the development of a situation where a large number of people or actor violates the basic norm, right? So they try to control the situation. All these institutions do not try to aggravate the situation, because in an aggravated situation, all people and actors violates the basic norms of the society. So this is what known as the pattern maintenance and tension management. And who is doing it? It is the society. I said now there is a built-in mechanism in the society, and this built-in mechanism forces individual to play their role in such a way where the pattern maintenance and tension management becomes possible. And the fourth is the integration. Now it is all about the adjustment of the relation between and among the units of a system for establishing a level of solidarity among them to permit the system to function. The functional requisite of a political system is concerned with the internal problem of coordination of differentiated and but interdependent role of the units. In every social system, there are some behaviors that is not prohibited by the norm, but is mal-integrative. The integrative function is performed by both state and social institution. State is a coercive mechanism and social institution is a non-coercive mechanism. So what it means? I mean, problem of integration. Now in every system, Talcott person is emphasizing on social system, but we can also extend his understanding to the political system as well. Now in every system, there are different subsystems, different units, and these units are working towards the larger system, right? Let's take the social system. Now in society, there are different systems that are working for a society to function, right? So when all these subsystems are working, then they also encounter certain internal problem, right? All these unit, one can find the class of interest because they are different structure performing different function. But the positive aspect is that all these differentiated structures performing different functions are interdependent, right? Without one, another is incomplete. Now, it is because of the interdependency, it contributes to the solidarity of the society. But in certain occasion, one can find some behaviors of the individual which is not prohibited by the norms. But those behaviors, I mean legally those behaviors are okay. But those behaviors are not good for the integration of the society. Now, how to control those behavior? I mean behavior that is not disallowed by the law. Now to control those behavior, the state is required, so also society is required. The state through coercive mechanism deals with those behavior, and the society through non-coercive mechanism, that is through persuasion, also try to deal with those behavior. So the real attempt of Talcott person was to find out how far the units are adjusted with the whole. Only then a system equilibrium is possible, right? So if the subsystem, if the units adjust with one another, they adjust with the system. If the units realize the interdependency among them, then the system's equilibrium is possible. The stability of a political system is not possible without a general system of common cultural orientation, right? So that common cultural orientation is very important, and that common cultural orientation is possible if people realize the value of society and goals of society. If people do not have any attitudinal dilemma, if people are having attitudinal dilemma, then the possibility of common cultural orientation is not possible. So the sharing of a value orientation is of a special importance that makes the study of attitudinal dilemma of the actor is essential. So this attitudinal dilemma is the obstacle before this society, right? This is the barrier of common cultural orientation. So what is this attitudinal dilemma? Now to Talcott person, there are 5 attitudinal dilemma. The first attitudinal dilemma is effectivity. Second, specificity. Third, universalism. Fourth, ascription. And 5, self-orientation. In the next class, we will try to understand all these 5 attitudinal dilemma which creates obstacle for common cultural orientation. So today I am stopping. Next class I will continue. So thank you. Hope that you will find this lecture helpful to you while understanding the political system. Thank you.